The main reason that teams or project teams choose Juriba is primarily because they are suffering with the volume of change that they're having to manage. Doing that in the traditional way is just too painful a process, and it's just not successful anymore. So a lot of teams will choose Juriba because it provides all of the return on investment benefits that you need when bringing a tool into a particular problem area. So for us, that's around reducing risk, it's around lowering cost, it's around achieving velocity migrations, and it's about a better end user experience.
If you're an executive in a large organisation, it can be hugely frustrating to try and find out just what you've got out there. You can ask 5 different people how many devices you have in your estate and get 5 different answers because they just don't know. So what Juriba does is it holds all of that information in a central database, and once it's there, it can be refreshed and updated on a real-time basis. So no longer do you have this situation where different people have different versions of the truth, have different beliefs about what's out there, what you need to do, where the problems are. You can see that all for yourself in one database with reporting and graphs.
We originally formed Juriba in 2008 as a result of previous work roles that we had. So I used to be running the desktop infrastructure at JP Chase across Europe, and we used to manage lots of different IT transformation programs in those roles. And ultimately those programs used to take a lot of time and money. The reason they took a lot of time and money was because we were using teams and armies of people with spreadsheets who couldn't collaborate particularly well. So consequently, we realised there was a gap in the market for a tool set that could help manage these big transformation programs, and consequently, Dashworks, our product, was generated.
When we go to customers, their biggest challenge is often really knowing what they have. They say to us, we just don't know where to start. So we can really help them first by understanding what they have in their environment. That's really key, and it can take quite a while actually to get all of those data sources together and make them into one version of the truth. And then once they've got that, then we really help them to understand how they're going to implement good processes to be able to manage change in their IT environment.
Juriba has been going 11 years, so we are by far the most mature player in our market. We also are by far the biggest company providing this sort of software, and we have the most experience. So a combination of those 3 things allows us to really dominate this space, both in the UK and across the globe. And as we grow the company, it means that we can expand the use cases for the software. So we don't just now manage IT transformation programs for desktops and mailboxes. We'll do it for virtualization, we'll do it for modern device management, we'll do it for mobile devices. And it allows us to then be a much bigger player across a wider stream, which means that consequently companies who buy our software can achieve a much better ROI, because you have many use cases for the tool, and you can manage all of your life cycle within that across a long period of time.
In both the private and the public sector, Juriba is a real success because they all have this problem. Everyone who has more than around 1,000 devices has the problem of really understanding what they have on those devices, how they're connected to different users, and how they affect change across them in a reliable and repeatable way. So actually, as soon as we show people their data, they are fascinated by it. They look at it and they say, wow, I never knew this. I never knew I had all these devices in Brazil. I never knew that I had all these users who are in a company that we've just acquired. And actually to be able to show them that information is hugely enlightening. And then they really feel confident about embarking on digital transformation so that they can see what they've got and then take that through a process and be confident that what is going to come out at the other end is what they expect.
The original purpose of the company was to really understand what we had out there in our end user environment. So looking at users, computers, applications, where those users were in terms of location, which departments they worked for, and bringing all of that information together in one place so we could have a single version of the truth, and we could then analyse and assess that data so that we could action it. So ultimately we started with the idea of understanding data, and that quickly grew into how could we action it for specific use cases within our end user environment that we supported.